All right, in this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to create a double thick, which this will be 1 cm of bolus. So to achieve that, I'm taking my 0.5 centimeter bolus here, Lumora, and I'm going to take a strip. I've arbitrarily decided that this is how much I need for this application. Put that to the side. And I'm going to basically half it. And now remove that. So now this is really neat. What I'm going to do is simply take 2 layers, place them on top of each other like that. I'm going to activate that in the dry heat oven right over here. And that is going to take a little longer to activate, but they're going to become connected during that application, and I'll be able to form essentially a 1 centimeter thick bolus. As simple as that. So we have our 1 cm thick double layer Lumora activating here, and similarly we see the clear edges are on the edge and then a little bit more milky. It's going to take a little longer. It is thicker, so we need to drive that heat inside. So we're going to continue to watch that. It's been in about 3.5 minutes so far, and we're going to give it a little more time, continue to monitor it to catch it at a moment that we want, and we will form that on our phantom head. All right, we have checking on our 1 cm thick Lumora Custom Bolus. That is it here. I'm just going to remove it from the sheet. Okay, so we take our bolus and we will remove it from our nonstick sheet. So here it is, 1 centimeter thick. You can see it's a little bit milky in the center. Now, I can see some very small, that's what's nice about Lumora, you can see through it. I can see like some air in those areas. Now we're going to take it and press it out. Place that wherever we want. I'm going to put it a little more toward this side here. And there you have it. I've molded a 1 cm piece of Lumora. So I got my 1 cm thick double layer, double 0.5 layer application here on top of a mask. Of course, that can be done directly onto the patient. And I also have my 0.5 molded, here in another example. So this one I'd already removed before. So I want to show you how like the line from where the mask and the patient is, there's that detail that's left there. So you can see here, I just place it. It really just finds its position, and that is such a helpful little indicator. I'm just going to bend that back a little bit there to fit on the patient like so. So that's that piece. Now let's remove the 1 cm layer. That took a little longer to cool, and so I'm going to remove it for the first time now. So here we have, you can see the indentations from the mask itself. You can see the bolus, that's 1 centimeter thick. Combination of 2 layers of 0.5, and I'm going to just place it where it fits. And actually being thicker, there's more rigidity to it. Well, it's still flexible, but there's more like structure, so it's really, or more weight to kind of place it. So that's an immediate thing I'm noticing as far as that bolus. Now, if I want, even it being 1 centimeter thick, if I decided that I needed to trim this for some reason, not a problem. For example, just simply trim it to fit. If I didn't want this area over here, I could just come in, do that away from the patient, make a little trim, make it beautiful, and again, place that on. Now, 1 centimeter thick contouring bolus. You're going to factor a little extra time in the thicker material for it to both activate and cool. Otherwise, there's an example of 0.1 cm and 0.5. This could be done in 0.5 as well, and taking advantage of the high moldability of Lumora. Next in our tips and tricks series here, I've actually set up a scenario where Some have water bath, some have dry heat. So I've got two pieces of Lumora that are activated here that I'm going to combine for a 1 cm thick demonstration of putting those on, where I activate them separately and I put one layer on and then the next layer on. That could be done, back to back, or, add the layer again in a little bit time after the first piece is set. So here I'm going to do them back to back from water. So next we'll do that, and then down here I have the same scenario here. Two pieces of Lumora that are activating that are going to be done. I'm going to place one, and then I'm going to place the second one over top for a double layer thick, in this case 1 cm, side by side water and dry heat to demonstrate the possibility of that situation. Okay, I'm going to start with my water bath activated Lumora. Place that one there, grab that one. And I'm just going to pad dry. Make it a little extra dry because I want it to be dry when I'm bonding the two. So I have a small piece, so in this case I can do them pretty quickly. So here I'm going to mold it. Now let's do the nose, a little more tricky shape. So let's go ahead and do that. I am going to do my air gap trick. Just do a little slit. That's to preserve the air gap for a nose. Okay. It's a bit sticky to my fingers, but it goes, as it cools, that reduces. I think it would avoid the eye normally, but for me, I don't have that. I have a luxury of not worrying about that at the moment. So now I've molded a 0.5 cm on there. Now here's my activated Lumora ready to be, my second piece ready to go. So I'm going to match that cut right there. And I'm going to place the second layer on. And I do it in a way that is working the air away. And you can see the layers in work. Now, 1 cm thick bolus is, that's a pretty thick section to have high conformity at point of care, and I'm able to achieve that just like so. So there you have it, a pretty detailed molding. You can see here the two layers working together, 0.5 and 0.5. The cumulative bolus effective layer as 1 cm over a pretty intricate molding while preserving the airway. Just one application. I think when you get better, the use cases and techniques, this product really lends itself to great techniques and applications, beyond what I'm just showing right here. My activated Lumora out of the dry heater. Here it is. I'm going to place that here for now. Actually, I'll put it here. We wouldn't put it on the patient. So I'm going to take my first layer and I'm going to place it, let's say we're doing this part here. Scope. Okay. And I'm going to place my second layer. So there's 0.5 centimeter of bolus. Now I'm going to place it, and I'm going to do a little trick. I want to mold it. I want to put it down in a way. I don't want to just put it over top and have an air trap. It's kind of like putting a sticker or a decal on a window, or you just don't want to. You want to just do it in a way that we don't trap any air. Now we get a homogeneous piece of bolus. As you can see, it's crystal clear at this stage. That is clear and 1 centimeter thick, a double layer, and we can visually see whether we have any issues with bolus. If I needed to reposition this, I can. I can take them off as a group. I can move it over here. I can mold it there. I have a lot of working time. And when you do 1 centimeter thick, you have extra working time, in fact. So here I've just repositioned it as an example. So that's a little more of a curved piece, I think, just to show you the application. This could be a larger sheet. The bigger you go, the more skillful and to get those on when you're doing a double layer. But here we have 1 centimeter bolus, 2 different applications, dry heat and water bath. It's going to work for you in any activation method that you have. And you can expect fast point of care, really great results to simplify your bolus.